Hi friends, today we're going to talk and do a little lesson on whose land we are on and who came before us, a little bit about the tribes and indigenous people, and a little bit about their food traditions. So let's jump right into it. Let me share my screen with you. Okay, so does anybody know what tribes are in the area? Take a minute, think about it. Let's look on this website and see what we can find. All right, for time's sake, I'm gonna type in Mauston. You may live in Necedah, you may live in New Lisbon area, any of that. But okay, so I typed it in and it gave us three different things, three different tribes. Okay, so we're going to focus on the first two. Menominee, I believe is how you say that. I apologize if I'm wrong. And then Ho-Chunk as well. All right. Back to this. All right, so when looking on the websites, I found a little bit of information. So this is a brief couple of points on Ho-Chunk. They have a governmental system with 4 different branches. And they also have a more traditional government system based on a chief and clan system. And they have traditional lands that go from Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois. A little bit about the Menominee people. They have strong leadership, and this has taken them through much adversity. They continue to speak their language and practice their traditions and religion as well. Spiritually, they continue to speak with their creator through tobacco, prayers, and other offerings. And one quote is, "We will continue to survive because we are a sovereign nation, a nation that refused to be pushed from our territory, a nation that will remain strong and independent." Pretty amazing. All right, so let's just touch on what an heirloom is. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but heirloom vegetables are considered old-time vegetable varieties. They're open pollinated instead of hybrids, so kind of like let nature do its thing. And they have been saved and handed down through multiple generations of families or companies, more so prevalent now in companies. But they can be anywhere from 100 to 150 years old, pretty old varieties. So you can be chomping down on a cucumber that is a variety that's been around for 150 years. There's beans and cucumbers, corn, lettuce, potatoes, squash, tomatoes, all sorts of different ones. So let's get into it a bit. These are beans, and I'm just gonna have you guys, wherever you are in your classroom, we're gonna play a little game, heirloom or not. So I'm gonna give you a second. Do you think these are heirloom or not? And feel free to shout it out in your classroom. Correct. They are not an heirloom. How about these? Are they an heirloom or not? Yep, they sure are. How about these? This is a what? What do you think it is? It's a tomato. Yep, it is heirloom. Got it. Okay, is this an heirloom tomato or no? Nope. How about this beautiful one? Heirloom or no? Yep, it is an heirloom. And then here is just a brief shot that I thought was a really beautiful picture of different types of squash that are heirlooms. So you might see bumpy ones or different colored ones or ones that are typically not thought of, right? But they are old varieties, and some benefits to heirlooms are just the beautiful funky colors and textures, but also they tend to be more flavorful. So those tomatoes that are purple or striped or all different kinds of things typically have more flavor. And also you can save the seeds and start your own, which is pretty cool. All right, so another thing that I want to touch on is foraging, and this is something that you can do anytime you're out in the woods or nature. Of course, be cognizant and aware of what you're eating and go with someone that knows what they're doing. But this is a tradition or a skill set that many indigenous communities had and have. That we can be aware of. There are so many foods throughout each season that are right at our fingertips. So here are a couple for spring. You have a fiddlehead fern. So when they first pop up, you can eat those. And then here's a wild leek that you can also eat. Pretty cool. In summer, we know there are so many berries in the area, but there are also different things like milkweed, chicory, or stinging nettle. A lot of people make teas or use different parts of the plant, which is kind of cool. In fall time, we have acorns, and that is ground down for flour, and you can use that flour in whatever, bread, pancakes, you name it. But there are some other ones that are also a part of different traditional foods that you can make, or medicine is also something people used to forage for. A lot of medicine instead of taking different medicines that we get now at the pharmacy, which are awesome, to have access to that, right? A lot of people in the past would just use what nature provided as different medicines. So wild rice is also a traditional thing harvested by the indigenous people, and I want to show you a quick video because I had no idea what it looks like. And this is what it looks like when you are harvesting, or wild rice is being harvested. So they use a canoe and they're just pushing themselves along and tapping the wild rice into the canoe and filling it up that way. Pretty cool. All right, I think you get the idea. So let's go back to where we are at. And then winter, there's when food was scarce, there were different barks or lichens which grow on the soil, or also on trees, which you can see a couple of pictures. Both of these right here are mushrooms, but also lichens growing on trees in the soil, and then of course bark, and there are different trees and stuff that have different flavor bark. Yes, meats, dried fruits, lovely maple sugar, all sorts of things. So that's just a brief overview of some of the foraging things and then some resources, but I just wanted to touch on that so you kind of could understand, where heirloom varieties of fruits and vegetables came from, and the foraging and the tribes that we are on, the land that we are on, and just to kind of get you thinking. And you can also think about maybe you have traditions at your home or in your family that are so prevalent too, right? So being in tune with that is really important when we're thinking about farm to school and being connected to farming and to nature around us. So give it some thought. Think about, traditions that you have, or maybe you know of some different tribal or indigenous things, tribes, communities in the area too, and different traditions that they have that I didn't touch on. So thanks for listening. I hope you have a great day.